For 9 years, Node.js dominated server-side JavaScript without any real competition. That was until 2018, where Ryan, Node's original creator, decided to shake things up. He moved around a couple of letters and gave us Deno. Then, in 2021, another contender entered the ring, Bun, which promised to be a lightning-fast drop-in replacement for Node with full compatibility, something Deno didn't yet have. But Deno has fought back this year with Deno 2, and it's now backwards compatible as well. So we've ended up with 3 solid runtimes to choose from. You probably know Node.js already, so let's dive into Bun and Deno to help you decide which one might be right for you. First, what are they? Deno is an open source runtime created to address various issues with Node, such as performance and the developer experience. It was written in Rust, and it also uses the V8 engine, similar to Node.js. Bun, on the other hand, is also an open source runtime for JavaScript. It focuses on performance and developer experience as well, but it's actually built using WebKit's JavaScript core instead of the V8 engine like Node.js and Deno. It's written in Zig as well, and it aims to be the faster drop-in replacement for Node.js. Before we get into what makes each runtime special, let's look at what they have in common. First, they both have an adorable mascot, but that probably shouldn't be a consideration for choosing a technical stack. Real talk though, as I said, both Bun and Deno are created to address Node.js's limitations and focus on better developer experiences. The first one that comes from that is built-in TypeScript support. This comes out of the box, there's no extra configuration needed. All you have to do is write your TypeScript code and run it. Node has actually recently added its own experimental way to do this as well though. The same goes for JSX support. It makes them great for full stack development. I find them both very useful for quickly creating APIs. This is all aided by one of the biggest improvements, which is the implementation of the web standard APIs. They're both built on top of this. If you've ever used Fetch in the browser, you'll feel right at home. These runtimes use the same APIs you're already familiar with, like WebSockets and Readable Stream, and this just means that your code works both on the server and in the browser without any extra libraries, polyfills, or weird behavior. When it comes to NPM compatibility, both runtimes have you covered here as well. Bun and Deno work with NPM packages out of the box. You can just run that install commands in your existing projects and they sort the rest out for you super fast. Between these and PNPM, I see little reason to stick with NPM. The Deno project even has its own super cool registry with some awesome features that aim to improve upon NPM, but more on that later. They've also both got testing built in. Bun's test runner is Jest compatible, and Deno's comes ready to go without any extra dependencies. I also think they would both recommend subscribing to this channel. So already you can see how both these tools are trying to make the development experience better, implementing tools that us JavaScript developers have gotten used to, and making our applications run much faster. Win-wins for us developers. So now let's take a look at what they do differently from each other, starting out with Deno. One of Deno's coolest features is that security is baked into its core. Unlike Node and Bun, where packages get full system access by default, Deno locks everything down. If you want to access files or make network calls, you need to explicitly allow this. This permissions model helps prevent supply chain attacks and hidden vulnerabilities. Deno also ships with a comprehensive TypeScript standard library, which eliminates the need for common external packages and utilities like Lodash. You can get path, JSON-C, encoding, YAML, semantic versioning, text, and so many more, hopefully solving the problem of using thousands of micropackages from random internet strangers that should have just been a standard in JavaScript. These modules are audited by the core team, so you know they're reliable and Deno compatible. The developer experience is where Deno really shines. You get linting and formatting built right in. There's no more wrestling with ESLint or prettier configs. If you need to compile your code into a binary, it's just one command, which is way simpler than Node's 8-step process. And they've even added Jupyter kernel support for using JavaScript and TypeScript in Jupyter notebooks. Deno also started heavily promoting URL-based imports. They have realized this comes with some issues though, like URL length, dependency management, and reliability issues, especially if you used a URL that you couldn't guarantee uptime, which would have ended up slowing down your CI pipelines or breaking them altogether. So maybe those dependencies should have used better stack for the most reliable uptime monitoring. Now though, they have introduced JSR, which is their answer to some of these challenges. JSR is an open source, cross-runtime code registry that allows users to easily share modern JavaScript and TypeScript. It's actually a superset of NPM, and it's designed to interoperate with NPM-based packages. JSR is able to generate API documentation, type declarations, and do the transpilation for you. All you have to do is publish your TypeScript source code. Now then, let's talk about Bun, the new kid on the block. The headline feature they always market is speed. We're talking 4 times faster startup than Node.js, thanks to its JavaScript core engine and Zig implementation. It doesn't just end there though, it has some unique features. Bun, for example, has a built-in SQLite database, which natively implements a high-performance SQLite 3 driver. It also has a super fast package manager. You can drop this into any JavaScript project with a package.json to instantly speed up your development workflow. In fact, I already use this on some of my legacy projects, similar to the way that I would use 𝗵𝗵𝗽𝗀. Bun also supports the hot flag to run a file with hot reloading enabled. When any module or file changes, Bun goes ahead and reruns the file for you. Bun also implements a subset of native APIs on the Bun global object, and through a number of built-in modules. One example I like is the inbuilt hashing API. These APIs are all heavily optimized and represent the Bun native way to implement some common functionality, so you know you're going to get the fastest way to do it. Their WebSocket implementation is particularly impressive, which shows 7 times more throughput than Node.js. Bun Shell also makes shell scripting with JavaScript and TypeScript fun. It's a cross-platform, bash-like shell with seamless JavaScript interoperability. Something that may seem weird to you until you need it, and then it's super handy. Another experimental feature that might make you wonder why Bun has integrated it is their C compiler. Bun introduced experimental support for compiling and running native C with shared memory and near zero call overhead. They have a great blog post diving into all the reasons why you may want to do this, as weird as it may seem. So with the unique features covered then, let's talk about that performance. Bun will claim superior performance in their benchmarks, and Deno claims superior performance in theirs. They can argue over this back and forth, but the end result is going to be good for us as end users as we get faster and faster runtimes thanks to this competition. Real-world benchmarks are going to vary by use case, but generally, both runtimes outperform Node.js. Overall, if you wanted to pick based on benchmarks, find one specific to your use case. You're not going to go wrong with either of them though if you consider Node to be the alternative. So what do I choose? Well, I choose Deno if I value my security and standardization, and I want a mature alternative to Node.js, and I need some of those built-in development tools like linting and formatting, and I'd particularly pick it if I was starting a new project without any legacy requirements. I would choose Bun if I just want better performance than Node, but with Node compatibility with minimal friction, or if I was working with something like SQLite to take advantage of that high performance driver. If you want to know what others have picked, we actually have the State of JavaScript survey, which shows in 2023 that Bun was actually used more than Deno as a runtime. This is probably largely due to how drop-in replacement Bun feels, whereas Deno has a little more friction. I've used Bun more personally as I just switched to it in several of my projects with no hassle and used it as a package manager. Deno 2, on the other hand, any new JavaScript project that I start, I think I'm going to start using that as the developer experience and standard library really fit my needs. The JavaScript runtime landscape is more exciting than ever. Whether you choose Bun or Deno, you're going to get a modern, capable platform that builds on Node's legacy while fixing many of its pain points. Drop a comment letting me know which runtime you like the most, and as always, see you in the next one.